king cake or the rosca de res, which is a tradition.
Yes,
yeah,
rosca de res.
Yeah,
and it's got there's a treat in the middle of it. I can't if you get the treat, then you're supposed to get good luck for the year or something like that.
That's right.
To get it in your slice.
That's right. So when you're down
someone's laughing at our stupidity right now too, that we don't know that we're fumbling around, but forgive us.
For everyone that's laughing about it, we just taught a few more people that what that is too. So
sure.
I remember seeing a little news segment on that. So again, going down there for Christmas, people can expect to have some of the same traditions that we have up here. So Santa Claus, Christmas trees, presents, great meals, and of course the crowds.
And the crowds, like the town square in San Jose, it's really cool. They do a Christmas. They used to do a whole Christmas celebration there with dancing, and vendors would come down and set up shop and get all different types of food there. So there's cool community things that happen as well that they're used to having the tourists blend in with them and some of that stuff as well.
Yeah, now I'm a big fan of San Jose, and we're referring to San Jose Del Cabo, which is really kind of in between, I don't know what you'd call traditional Cabo San Lucas and the East Cape, right? Kind of in the middle between the two.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Los Cabos refers to the two capes, and there's the San Jose Cape, and then there's the San Lucas Cape. And the San Lucas Cape is the furthest south.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I like San Jose is because I like the old town square. I like the shops there. I like that it's slowed down quite a bit. There's a lot of art in that city, and things that aren't happening in the party town on the other side, right?
Yeah, it is a different. Would be the way to say that. It's just a different soul. The soul of San Jose is a little bit different than the soul of San Lucas.
Yeah.
San Lucas is definitely more of a fast-paced club style type of a town, and caters, I would say, to more than likely a younger crowd. And San Jose, I guess you could say, is a little more discerning.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't believe I just said that.
You'd mentioned last time I spoke to you that you thought you might try to get on a plane and be there for New Year's Eve. What's the reality of that?
Well, it was somewhat in jest, but I was just realizing that I don't really have any solid plans for the holiday or for New Year's with my wife and son, and we're fortunate to have lived down there, bought a house, and still own the house, and that it makes a quick trip to Mexico fairly easy, other than that plane flight. But you can show up and just plug right in back into the community, and that's kind of what I was thinking when we were talking. But the reality of it right now is I don't think it's going to be possible.
Yeah, it's
but I do have a house if somebody's interested in going down there.
Oh, I hope a whole bunch of people just heard that. So I guess, Ryan, same question for you about Christmas. If we're going to head down for New Year's Eve, I'm assuming that there's all kinds of great festivities for New Year's Eve as well, because that's what we do down there, right?
Yeah, and you can find all different types of it too. Obviously there's the clubs that go crazy during that time period, but then out on the East Cape, there's different little beaches where people will set up and have bonfires, kind of tradition, small groups of people. There is, most of the resorts do a pretty decent firework display for New Year's. So yeah, you can kind of get lots of really good restaurants in San Jose that do you're there for the entire evening. So yeah, there's a variety of things to do for sure.
All right, so I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just thinking that I have not spent time in the remote areas during New Year's, but I have spent enough time with Mexicans in those areas to know that they love that time of year. So it would actually be kind of cool to go to the Mission up at San Javier for New Year's or something. There's some really cool semi-remote places that would be a neat way to spend the New Year, cut off and not connected to the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about on this show how traditionally Hispanics are very warm and welcoming, family-oriented, and I could imagine, especially this time of year, how things would be down there, and what those small towns would be like. and the ability to share this time of year with the locals, it would probably be pretty incredible. Like you said, get out and explore a little bit and really enjoy being disconnected from what you're used to elsewhere in the world, because Baja's a special place. We all know that.
Yeah, the last time we talked, and I was thinking about it as I was getting ready to have this phone call with you, that more and more like those weekend trips, I mean, they're great, but man, there's the way to really experience it and get connected with the culture. You got to move there or go there for a month or two. Find a way to make it be a part of the story of your life. I mean, if you're even remotely interested in the Baja as a place or the culture and the people, you just can't do it in a weekend. You can't do it in even a week-long vacation. Go and immerse yourself and really soak it in and become part of them.
Yeah, Ryan, I think that's one of the things that I want to bring into the show on a more consistent basis is educating people on how to spend a little bit more time down there than just the weekend getaway or the Cabo San Lucas experience, getting past that. Even, Ensenadas and the Rosaritas and Tijuanas of the world, getting past all that and, like you said, immersing themselves into the culture. I think that is life-changing. You come back a different person. You have a new appreciation for the Hispanic culture and people down there. But, yeah, I agree with you. Get down there and spend as much time as you can.
You see all these Sprinter vans rolling around town that are so set up to go off the grid. I mean, there's such an easy drive that thing across the border and up into the mountains at the observatory. It's a couple hours and you're in a completely different setting.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how easy that is to get down there and do some of those things. By the way, I've got a good friend of mine, Eric Morley. His son created a company called the Van Mart, and they're in Fountain Valley. It's the vanmart.com. He's building those Sprinter vans that you're talking about. It's got the bed and the little microwave and the stove and, the whole bit. So for those listening, if you're interested, the Van Mart, that's your guy to have that thing built out so you can head south of the border.
Yeah, it's funny because I see that as a great way to get down and pull off the pavement and get out into the remote areas and be somewhat self-contained.
Yeah.
And they appear, I spent a little bit of time in one, not a ton, but they sure seem like they're a pretty roadworthy vehicle.
Well, and just the ability to access, smaller roads in something like that as opposed to hauling a trailer or just staying in hotels, to me, that seems like the adventurous spirit that you'd want to have down in Baja. So I don't know. I aspire to do that. I know that I'm jonesing like you to get down there. I don't see a New Year's Eve in my future in Baja either. But I've got a little trailer in Ensenada that I hope to get to in the next couple of weeks. The purpose of the call was to throw a little teaser out there to people and just talk a little bit about Baja. I want to ask you, though, because I know there's a few people that listen to this show that are actually going to be in San Jose during the holidays. You mentioned a couple restaurants. You have any favorite restaurants down there in San Jose Del Cabo that people should visit while they're down there?
Well, it's a pretty trendy one these days, but Flores Farm is I mean, if you're there, you got to see it at least once. The food's amazing. The ambiance is incredible. The family, it's an interesting story. And it's funny because I know a lot of people go to that restaurant, but a lot of them don't know the whole story there. The Green family has lived on that property for quite some time. They lived in a yurt there.
Huh.
And prior to having the restaurant, they had started, a small farm there. They would have events. Gloria would do cooking classes and stuff. She had a small little restaurant in San Jose back in the early 2000s. But anyways, her parents live in the same neighborhood that I live in, area called Gringo Hill there in Cabo. And because we were all kind of a local community, even though they lived out there on the farm, they would do these really cool parties. Like they'd have an Easter egg hunt for the kids on Easter and a big brunch out there. And she loved cooking for us. So the neighbors of Gringo Hill and friends and family and so on got to experience Flores Farm before it was ever a restaurant, when she was still just building what ultimately today is what everybody knows of as Flores Farms. So yeah, you got to go to Flores Farms for sure.
Yeah.
And there's actually, I believe there's another restaurant out there now. I haven't been to it. I think it's called Acre, and it's kind of the same concept, farm to table. I've heard the food's good there as well.
Good Good.
You got to go to Baja Brewery. I know they have one in San Jose or in San Lucas, but the first one was in San Jose.
Yep.
And that's a really fun, cool setting there. And then, the other component that is always a part of the downtown San Jose experience is the art walk on Thursdays.
Yes.
And that's grown. I was amazed the last time I was there, how many people and how big that event has become. And basically the local art community, all of the galleries open their doors, keep them open later. And a lot of them have bottles of wine that you're able to pour yourself a glass of wine and walk around and see the art that's on display there. And it's just kind of a communal event. The tourists and locals go and peruse the galleries. So Thursday night art walk. And as far as other specific restaurants, Nixon, and it's nothing Mexican, but I mean, it's an amazing sushi restaurant up on the hill that it's kind of a staple of San Jose.
Yeah.
So there's a few of them there.
Well, that'll give people a head start, and they can explore and find the others. I'm a big fan of Guacamaya's, which is more of a kind of an outdoor taco place.
I forgot about Guacamaya. Yeah, you can't forget Hangman's either. Hangman's is another one. And that one is, have you been there before?
I have not. And here we go, right? Because we all got our favorite spots, and, we just can't talk well enough of all of them.
I forgot about Hangman's, and that's a really cool story. Family-run restaurant, right, kind of in their front yard. And it's really started it started on the mainland somewhere. I can't remember where they started, but the family had a restaurant in the front of their house, and the tree that was in their yard was rumored to have been the tree that back in the colonial days was where they had the noose and hung the criminals. And
wow.
So they called their restaurant on the mainland the Hangman. And when they came over to Cabo and did the same thing here, they still call it the Hangman.
Sounds like an interesting backstory to where you're having dinner at, right?
No, the setting is so cool. I mean, it's kind of the patriarch of the family is, you can tell he's their celebrity, and he comes and plays. He's got a guy that plays the organ, and he plays the organ while people eat. I mean, it's a cool experience.
That sounds awesome. Well, listen, Ryan, I know I caught you on your way home, but I just wanted to talk a little Baja with somebody. If you're listening and you want to go down to Baja, or you're heading down there and you need a little extra friendly advice from either myself or Ryan, I know he'd be open to taking your calls or emails or texts or what have you. We want to help you go down there and have a good time. Ryan, I hope that I can have you on the show a little bit more and impart more of your wisdom. Like I said, you're one of those guys that just knows Baja so well. We'd love to just hear more from you as time permits, and we're not heading into a busy holiday here.
Yeah, happy to be a part of it, Jim, and happy to introduce other people that I know down there. There's a wide range of people that live and work down there that I know could share a lot with your audience. So would love to be more involved with it.
Right on, man. Well, thanks to you, and have a Merry Christmas with your family, and enjoy the lead up to that, and a Happy New Year, bud.
Right on. Back at you, Jim.